daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markel. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markel.
Hello, welcome back to Morning Mindset with your host, Paul Markel, which is me. Oh, how many of you out there are moms or dads, or maybe you're supervisors, or maybe you are bosses, maybe you have employees, maybe you are dealing with the young and up-and-coming millennial crowd. And how many of them think that they deserve everything they desire just because they want it? Today, we're going to talk about deserve or desire or deserve, and are they interchangeable words? All right. And I know many of you are already nodding your heads, and you're like, yep, Paul, I've been there, I've done that, I dig what you're squealing. But let's dive into it. Desire and deserve are not interchangeable terms, despite what your millennial children or your teenage children think. Just because the American modern culture, the modern American culture uses the terms desire and deserve, doesn't necessarily mean that they're interchangeable. What you desire may not be what you deserve, and what you deserve may not be what you desire. So be careful what you ask for. When you're dealing with your children, how many times have your children said that they deserve something, or they feel that they deserve something? And why? Why is that? Is it because they have earned it? Because they've done anything to earn that thing? Or is it just because they want it? And how many times in your life have you felt that you deserved blank? I deserve a promotion. Okay. Do you really deserve the promotion, or do you desire the promotion? Now, desiring a promotion or a pay raise doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve it. Now, perhaps you do. But before you walk into your boss's or your supervisor's office and demand a raise or demand a promotion because you think you deserve it, you might want to do a little bit of a gut check and say, hey, do I legitimately deserve a pay raise? Or is it just something that I desire because, hey, everybody wants more money, right? Everybody wants more money, so I desire that, therefore I deserve it. People in our modern culture have fallen into this trap where they believe, and let's face it, the central federal government and our state governments and shall we say, the big media complex, they're very, very good at convincing people that if they desire something, that means they deserve it. That is essentially how the entire Democrat platform, the Democrat political platform, is based upon: if you desire it, you deserve it. You desire a mobile phone? Well, you deserve to have a mobile phone. Doesn't matter whether you've earned it, doesn't matter whether you've gone out and earned enough money to actually purchase one. If you desire it, heck, you deserve it. We'll take money from other people and we'll put it into a great big pool and we'll buy you a mobile phone because you deserve to have it. Not because you've earned it, but because it's something that you want. And there's an entire political party that has made its platform giving people what they want. Whatever it is that they say they want. It doesn't matter whether they've earned it. Doesn't matter whether they worked for it. Doesn't matter whether they really need it. But they desire it. Therefore, they think that they deserve it. But when it comes to promotions, when it comes to pay raises and so forth, and if you have children, you may want your children to listen to this episode of Morning Mindset. Because the world always has a way of balancing itself out. You can't fight nature. We've tried. We always try. Humans try to fight human nature constantly. We try and fight against human nature, or we try and fight against nature in general. And most of the time we lose. And one of those ways is we constantly strive for things, thinking that we deserve them. Now, sometimes what you deserve isn't a reward, it's punishment. Sometimes what you desire is not actually what you need. And when we come to that crossroad in our life where we think, where we start believing that we deserve this or that because we desire it, you need to ask yourself, have I earned it? We've talked previously on this show, we've talked about education, we've talked about training, we've talked about knowledge and experience, we've talked about ways of earning things, of working a little bit harder, of actually going to the trouble to educate yourself, to make yourself a more valuable employee. Now, if you've gone out and you've actually taken steps to make yourself more valuable, then you probably do deserve greater compensation. You generally would deserve that. If you went through all of the steps, for instance, wherever it is that you work, they say, all right, in order to become a supervisor, you have to meet these steps, meet these criteria. Did you go through all those criteria, or did you skip over a few of them because you thought they were stupid and pointless, but you still want the promotion anyway? Now, when people come to you and say, I deserve blankety blank blank, that's when you sit them down and you say, okay, tell me why it is exactly that you deserve more money. Why is it that you deserve more responsibility? If you go back to the Old Testament, to the Bible, and the story of the talents and the servants, and whether or not they used their talents in a wise fashion. And if you remember, if you go back, a lot of you went to Sunday school probably, you remember the businessman, and he went on a journey, and he gave X number of talents to different servants. And when he came back, he asked them what they had done with the talents, and what they were referring to at the time, not physical talents, but money. But think of talents as money and an investment. And one servant said, I took your money and I invested it, and this is what I got in return. And he says, well done, good and faithful servant, because you have been faithful with small matters. I will give you more responsibility. And then another servant said, well, I invested blank, and this is what I got back. And he said, well done, good and faithful servant. You invested your talents wisely. I'm going to give you more responsibility, more money. Here you go. And another one said, I knew that you were selfish and blah, 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 and I just took it and I hid it under a rock. And here you go. Here's your original talent back. And he said, basically, be gone from me. You have not been responsible for even the smallest thing. Therefore, even everything you have, I will take away from you. And so when it comes to, do you desire or deserve? When you're talking to your children, when you're talking to maybe your employees, those who work for you, maybe it's people that you coach. You could be a coach. And people, somebody who thinks one of the guys on your team, or one of the kids on the team, thinks he should be the team captain or a co-captain or whatever. And they really believe that they deserve it. That's when you say, well, what have you done to deserve this? Simply desiring something does not mean that you deserve it. Yes, indeed. So if you want to be responsible for greater things, if you want to have more responsibility, if you want to have more money, you need to be responsible for smaller things. And, I'm not here to preach the Old Testament to you, but the fact is it's a really good story. It's very illustrative, and there are a lot of stories in the Bible that are. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I will leave you with today. Before you sit down and decide that you deserve blank, or before you allow someone to tell you that they deserve whatever it happens to be, more money, a car, a new phone, or whatever. How many of you have teenagers and they think they deserve a brand new phone? Why do that's when you say, okay, you desire a brand new phone, but what have you done to earn it? This is the really real world we live in here. In the really real world, we don't get things just because we want them. And the lesson for today is desire and deserve are not interchangeable. All right, thank you very much for joining me for today's Morning Mindset. I hope you're getting your mind right with all that we have to offer. I truly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's left a review. Thank you to everyone who has shared this. And thank you to people who have gone to Amazon. Because as you know, as I mentioned previously, I am Paul Markel, and all of the books available from Paul G. Markel are on Amazon as paperbacks or Kindle as Kindle versions. So you can take them anywhere you want to go on your iPad or your iPhone or whatever device it is that you like. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markel, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.